Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Diplomatic Enclave. I'm your host, Khalid. But Pakistan cooperates with so many organizations, with so many countries, the representatives, whereas the CEOs or the ambassadors or high commissioners of those countries or those organizations are always our esteemed guests in this series. Today is no exception, but this time we tried to do things a bit differently. We're going to talk about a country that is sharing a land border with Sweden, Norway and Russia, has a population of more or less 5.4 million, has its largest city called Helsinki. It is also known as the land of 1,000 lakes and the land of the midnight sun. I'm talking about Finland, and this time we do not have the Finnish ambassador, but we do have the honorary consul of Pakistan in Finland. In fact, it's quite the opposite, but he is a Finn. Let me introduce him to you. His name is Mr. WILLE EEROLA. Mr. WILLE, thank you very much to have joined us.
Thanks for having me.
Mr. WILLE, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I come from a very entrepreneurial-minded family. I've been working with mostly the marketing and communication businesses around the world. I like to see myself very international, also sort of mindset point of view. And then I have this passion and love, which is called Pakistan.
All right. But apart from the love and passion for the country that is Pakistan, you've also have a love and passion for entrepreneurship and business. You've been part of so many companies. When one goes through your profile, you see more than 10 companies of which you've been part or still are part. Why that love for economics?
I don't know. I always say that maybe one day I will know that what I'm going to do when I'm grown up. I think that's the main reason. Right. I like to see new things. There's also sometimes that it is a little bit problematic that you always feel so passionate about something new. But that's really takes me to something new. You see something new, you see something new technology, you see some new possibilities, like for example what this digital world is giving us, and then you found yourself to be around good people and you set up a new company, and that's where it goes.
All right. Belonging to a Nordic country and being a Finn, tell me one thing, WILLE. Most of the Finns that I've met don't speak much, are quite monosyllabic. Why is that?
I don't know. Even in Finland, we keep kind of smiling and laughing when we listen to our rally drivers or Formula One drivers, because they speak very slowly and sort of on a modest way, which is a traditional Finnish way. Why? I don't know why. Maybe it's a winter, maybe it's something, but culture-wise it has been like that. For years, the Finns have always been very famous to be shy and trusted.
Finland is also home of a lot of technologies that have made headways around the world, whether it be Linux, whether it be the other sectors in the IT, whether it be games as well. Angry Birds comes from Finland as well. Why not venture into the IT circuit? Why go into economy?
I have also been in the IT sector. I've been helping IT companies to understand the business concept and marketing side and so on. But you are right, Finland is really home of those. Every Pakistani pretty much knows Nokia.
Yes,
okay, we saw
the first phones that came in Pakistan.
Yes, we saw the birth and kind of not really crash, but kind of the crash of Nokia. Nokia is back
and
again.
Now the rebirth of Nokia.
Yeah, Nokia is also back as a company. It has been there all the time, but obviously the publicity around the mobile phones were kind of gone when Nokia sold the company to Microsoft, but now it's back, as you said. But I don't know. Someone asked the same question before, and why Finland has been so strong in IT. And there's one very funny thing that when you go up the northern part of the Finland, which is the Lapland, so there the winter is like 6-7 months a year. And one of the best R&D centers of Nokia was actually in the city of Oulu, which is up north. And people are asking, how is it possible? Nobody wants to be there. It's dark and cold and snowy and wintry. And I always saying that, okay, think about it this way. If 6 months is very dark and cold and wintry and snowy outside, there's nothing else to do than work. And the other side of that coin is that in 6 months you have a beautiful summer and sunshine almost like 24/7, so then you don't work.
All right, what about the normal nature of the people of Finland? Are they entrepreneurial in nature like you are, or are they farmers, are they business-minded? What is the major ventures that they go into?
Finland has changed. Finland,
and it's a small country anyways.
Yeah, it's a very small country. And Finland, you're talking about nowadays, it's something that's really born after the Second World War. And even a little bit after that.
Because before it was with Sweden.
It was part of the Sweden, but it was also a very agricultural-based country. And then started the industrialization. And there's also one very good point that you have to remember, because there's linked to the fact of how we can manufacture so many things in Finland, is that after the war, Finland was the first country in the world history that actually paid back sort of the compensation based on the fact that you lost the war. So we paid everything back to the Soviet Union that time. And then the last train was delivered with the deliveries was delivered to the Soviet Union in 1952. And then everything started. So how the Finland is nowadays, nowadays there's a huge new wave of entrepreneurs.
All right.
Government is also supporting a lot of new entrepreneurs, especially in IT and ICT. Then so all the Nordic countries, we have a big public sector. As you might know, as healthcare is free and everything is free, so there's a lot of people who are working for a public sector. And then we have a big SME sector. So there's a lot of similarities actually in terms of entrepreneurs to Pakistan as well.
But you've also got the world's freest press, if I might say.
Yes, that's one of the
and that's
great
something
things
that you lay a lot of importance on.
Yes, and also not only that, Finland has been lately like top 5 in many other statistics or ratings as well.
You've seen the rise of Finland in different sectors as well, and you are part of that rise as well. As an entrepreneur, you've headed so many companies in the last 15, 20 years. First of all, there's one question that emanates in my mind. Why change companies so often? Because when you go through your CV, you've been through one company to the other, then to the third, and then you've remained with the first, and then you've gone to a fourth. Why be so multifaceted?
Now you sound like a headhunter. That's a very typical headhunter question. But I don't know. As I said, I think that I get so passionate about something new. And I know that, I'm not young anymore, so I know what is the one that I am best on, and that is starting something from the scratch, and that's what I do. So if there's something that you need to build, then I am the person. If there's something that you have to keep running, then there's someone else.
All right. Wille, when it comes to the economy of Finland, it's a small country, but nevertheless, the economy of any country is very important. You've got the transport sector, you've got the infrastructure sector, the IT sector that we've talked about as well. What are the other sectors? Is agriculture still as important for Finland?
Agriculture is still there. One very interesting area which is doing super well again, have some difficulties, is building of those most beautiful ships in the world. So if you go to Miami and you take a Caribbean cruise, it's very probable that that ship that you are taking is actually built in Finland.
Oh, that's great.
So that's one very interesting area that people don't know about Finland. But agriculture is still there, manufacturing is still there. Obviously, as everywhere in the European Union, certain manufacturing is gone to other countries. And we still have the old green gold of Finland, so paper companies, because we do have a lot of forests still. And so paper companies, back in 100 years, they were local. Nowadays, they're one of the best and the biggest in the world.
All right. Wille, also, you mentioned the health. Health sector is very important to Finland's government, so is education. Finland has one of the best education systems in the whole world. Tell us a little bit about both sectors, health as well as education.
The virtual healthcare, I think the starting point has been that decades ago, the government made a decision that the healthcare is available for everyone and it's free. It's not really free, you still have to pay for something, but I think that's the secret behind it. There was a big governmental decision that everyone deserves a good healthcare, and actually, for example, linked to children, that Finland has been very, very like a pioneer in that field after the war. We have this issue in the history of Finland that after the war, Finland lost the war against Soviet Union. So 500,000 people was actually relocated from those parts that Finland lost to Soviet Union. So if you really think that 500,000 people will be relocated, and there was a lot of children as well. So that was like, I'm not a healthcare expert, but that was the reason why everything was built and is still doing pretty well. In terms of education, Finnish education became like world-class a few years ago. When these PISA ratings, Finland was #1, and everyone around the world started to think how that is possible. And since then, I can tell you that there has been so many delegations from different countries coming to Finland, the Minister of Education there, trying to find out how this was actually done. And obviously, you can't copy anything like that from Finland to Pakistan, for example, because there's a lot of structures and tax and everything like that. But just recently, there has been a lot of cooperation between Finland and Pakistan to actually bring the best part of the Finnish education into Pakistan. Because with that education system that we have had, the basic idea is that everyone, again, it doesn't matter what kind of family you're coming from, you will get the same education and you will learn the same things from point A to point Z. And that's the secret why the Finnish society is also as stable as it is. If you think that in Pakistan you have 200 million people and half of the people are children, if you would be able to give the same education to everyone in this country, you would have
they grow up to be at the same level.
Because everybody understands certain things up to a certain level. Then it's up to you if you go to high school or if you go to university or whatever you do. But from one period of time, you do learn and know the same things. That's the secret.
That's true. WILLE, also, Finland has been the country to have had a female prime minister and a female president way back in 2003. Yes. I mean, which is very rare for the West, because in the West, apart from Germany, we haven't seen much of women heading countries. What is the secret of that? Is it gender equality?
It's that, and then also we have strong women.
Oh, right.
I think that's another thing. And also Finland was the first country that actually women got the voting right in the world. So that has been there for years. I think it was 1906, maybe. All my friends will kill me because I maybe don't remember the year. But it has been there. I think that it's a society and the strong women. And we have that thing that we really want also to... It's not a gender issue, it's not a background issue, that everybody can be whatever they want, because there's no social classes in the Finnish society. Speaking
of the society, how strong is the social structure in Finland?
It is strong. Always saying that everybody will be taken care of. Obviously, we have our challenges in Finland because the population is aging. And soon we have, I think, 15–20% of the population is actually retired.
All right.
So then you can, this is pretty much the same thing that, for example, in Japan. So we have the baby boomers, so the people who were born after the war. And so then those people will be going to be retired soon. So what's happening then? Who's going to take care of the people and all that kind of things? But it's still strong. Government is spending a lot of money. Government is collecting a lot of taxes, which is the other side of the social welfare system in Nordic countries.
All right. Speaking of taxes, how important is a strong tax system for the economy of any country?
I think in the Nordic countries, whenever you talk about Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, I think the secret is that people are paying taxes, because then the government has money to do things. I don't think that nobody really likes to pay taxes, but by the end of the day, if your children will get the free education, if you get the free healthcare, if you get free and this and that, I don't think that people are really ever saying that, okay, the tax is bad because I won't get anything. Because by the end of the day, you do get something. I think it's the same in Pakistan. If you would raise your tax rate tomorrow morning, people would eventually be happy to pay tax if they see that they will actually get something from that as well.
All right. You said that Finland still has that agricultural base, but most of the Finnish population is an urban one. How do you go into the agricultural sector then if most of the population is moving to the cities?
Agriculture, if you take a look on the southwest and west part of the country, so on the Sweden side, and the outside Helsinki area. So the southern part of Finland is pretty big agricultural area actually. It works. You know, I think it's good urban planning that you still also leave the space and fields to do the farming as well.
You also love your coffee.
Yes, we are the biggest coffee drinkers per capita in the world.
And also you're the home of Santa Claus.
Yes, that's you all know that there's always that contest between Finland and Sweden where the Santa Claus is living, but I think we all know that he lives in Finland.
Among the cultural traditions that you have, something that struck me as a little out of the ordinary is that most of the Finns leave their shoes outside their homes. Why is that? When they enter their homes, they leave their shoes outside and enter bare feet.
I think it's mostly because of the weather.
Right.
I don't know, but historically, I could guess that because of the weather, in the winter time, on the fall time, you don't want to bring all the dirt to your home. But it's true. It's we don't wear shoes inside. And even sometimes, if especially summertime, it's kind of clean outside, you might have a guest who walks in wearing his or her shoes, and you really look at a little bit strangely what's happening there. But it is funny, but that's what we do.
All right, great. Ville, your country joined the European Union way back in '95, and it was the first Nordic country to accept the euro as the single European currency way back in '99. How important is the European Union for Finland?
I think very important. Actually, it has changed Finland a lot. We always have that, obviously, that speculative questions, that discussion, and some people will say that, okay, we should get rid of the European Union, especially nowadays because they have that challenges linked to the Brexit and all that kind of stuff. But honestly speaking, European Union has changed Finland so much. To the and only to better. And obviously, everything has the other side as well, but it has been very super important, and also joining the euro as one of the first countries has been a very, very powerful tool to the businesses as well. The Finnish businesses have really got into the international market thanks to the European Union, but also the other European markets, products from any European countries, you can find nowadays in every shelf of every grocery shop in Finland. That was not the case like 25, 30 years ago.
All right. Opening up to the European market, does that somehow hinder your economy, or does that give a boom to your economy?
I think it's boom and boost and everything.
All right.
So if you really think that a small country like Finland, 5.5 million people, without the European Union membership, what kind of future there will be? I don't think that would be very positive. So I think very, very crucial for Finland.
Tourism is also a very important sector that brings and that strengthens the economy of Finland. And when we talk of tourism, how can we not talk about the Aurora Borealis, the northern lights, those beautiful green, blue lights that are so magical when one sees them.
And it's very super popular among Asian tourists right now.
Yes.
Because those northern lights have a lot of meaning for it in the Asian cultures as well. Yes, those northern lights are in northern part of Finland, so Lapland, where the home of Santa Claus is also. So they actually link together a lot because you have a lot of Asian tourists coming to northern part of the country, see the northern lights, see the Santa Claus. But we also have a lot of tourist areas in south. For example, the archipelago between Finland and Sweden, so in the sea, that also has had thousands of islands. As you said in your intro, that Finland is a country with 1,000 lakes. The 1,000 lakes are in the eastern part of the country, in inland, close to the Russian border. So we have a lot of things, and then there's one...
Not only lakes, there are also islands, so many islands that you have as well.
We have a lot of islands, and most of the people also have their summer places on those islands.
All right.
So
is there a summer in Finland? Is there really one?
Come on. Yes, so we do have a summer, and actually Usually the summer is very beautiful. It's not the Pakistani way of summer, temperatures-wise.
Yes.
But we're talking about, plus 20, 23, 22. If we're very lucky.
For us, it's spring.
I know, or winter. But I know that 25 is something that everybody's hoping, at least a couple of days. But that's the good side of summer in Scandinavia and in Finland and up north is that it's like almost like 24/7 daylight.
All right.
So it's light all the time.
You also, as far as your education is concerned, you also celebrate the annual day of failure. Why is that?
I think the part of the Finnish culture is also
to accept failure.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we actually are very good to accept that.
All right.
But at least if you highlight and celebrate that, might be easier to accept.
All right, great. Now let's come to all the work that you've been doing in the industries. You've been associated with different industries in Finland. Where and how did your love for Pakistan or your association with Pakistan begin?
This is a question that every Pakistani asks, and also some Finns. All started like very often, interesting things start. I used to work for one of the biggest marketing communication agencies in the world, and then I left the company, and one of my former colleagues from London gave me one day a phone call, and he asked, "Can I give you a phone number to Pakistan?" And I was thinking, well, that's interesting. No one ever called me from Pakistan. And then 30 minutes after that, I got a call, and I helped one company in Pakistan that time linked to the mobile phone license bidding you had 15 years ago. And that was the starting point. Then a little bit after that, I found myself to be in Karachi first time, and then I was in Istanbul.
When was the first time you were in Pakistan?
I made the first visit, I think, 2004, 2005, something like that.
All right. And what was your first impression?
Okay, my first impression was that this all happened in New York. I promised in New York that I will go to Pakistan.
All right.
And then I told my wife that I promised to go to Karachi now, and she asked me that is it safe? It's a very common question linked to Pakistan. So I said, yeah, it's all safe. And then literally just minutes after that, there was a CNN news saying that the breaking news was the car bomb in Karachi. I was like, okay, this what in hurt I have been doing. So when I landed to Karachi, and it was the June morning, 46 degrees outside, inside, and I had exactly that same feeling that I think most of the foreigners have when they actually land to Pakistan. I said, you don't really, I'm not saying that you feel yourself unsafe, but you kind of observe what's happening around you. And then the driver took me to the hotel, and honestly, like in hours after my arrival, I started to think that all the image I had in my head is wrong.
All right.
So then in that morning, I actually became, I started my one-man mission to change the image of Pakistan, because I realized that I was thinking the wrong way. And I also wanted to, my business colleagues and other people to realize that there's also that other side of Pakistan, which we never see.
Because I've talked to so many high commissioners and ambassadors and heads of international organizations, they all say that they were very apprehensive before they came to Pakistan. Once in Pakistan, they never wanted to leave Pakistan. They've all asked for extensions, and they all wanted to visit. They've brought their families to visit, and they wanted everybody to see the country. They've taken pictures and shown it to people, brought other friends as well. So the whole impression of Pakistan, once you're outside it and once you're inside the country, is like a 180 degrees change.
And that is a problem also, in also business.
All right. Speaking of changing perceptions, you came to Pakistan way back in 2004. Your perception changed of the country. Did you take that change with you and talk to other people about it?
Yes, I did. And that is exactly why we should keep taking companies and people from any country abroad to see the Pakistan with their own eyes. So what I have done is that based on my own experience, I have been doing this brainwashing among the business societies and saying that you need to take a look at Pakistan. Because when you say Pakistan, the business people will say, okay, I'm not sure it's safe. Countries have their problems and all that kind of stuff. But you just keep to keep doing that and people will start to listen to you. That's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. And then eventually you take the people to come to Pakistan with you. So right now, I just brought this earlier this week, one Finnish SME to Pakistan first time ever. And it's always the same process. They come and they like little bit wondering what's going on, and then they realize that the picture is very different, and then they realize which is really the strength of Pakistan, and that's the huge level of hospitality which is inbuilt in Pakistani.
And also, Ville, there's a lot of potential in Pakistan as far as the different sectors are concerned, untapped potential that so many different companies abroad could take advantage of.
First of all, this is really easy math. You have 200 million people. You have GDP growth 5, 6, 7%. You have a growing middle class. That's easy math for business people as well. So there's a lot of demand for different kind of things, and not only for big things, like not only for energy solutions or building metro bus lines or anything like that, but also for products that you know the normal Joes and Jims of Pakistan will buy.
For Finnish people and for Finland, honesty is the best policy. Finns are considered to be one of the most honest peoples around the world. How has that helped you in your business transactions around the world?
I think the key point is that trust issue is linked to the fact that if a Finn promises something, they will also deliver.
That's true.
And that's also something that makes you to do business. That if a Finn says to a Pakistani company that you will get this on Monday, you will get it on Monday. And that's also a little bit a cultural change that I need to be a filter sometimes because the South Asian culture and the Finnish culture are a little bit different on that respect, especially definition of time is very different.
Tell us a little bit about that. You talk about differences in culture between Pakistan and Finland. Of course, there's the temperature as well. Maybe that also contributes a little bit. But what are the other things that you found to be very different as far as the culture of both countries is concerned?
I think business-wise, the definition of time is definitely one. So we have also a bad habit in Finland. So if you say to me that you will get this on Monday, I expect that you will actually do that on Monday. If you didn't, I already in the afternoon I start to think, okay, what's wrong with you that you didn't do what you promised? I think that's one thing, and this is also something I have been saying to Pakistani companies that if you promise to deliver something or you promise to get back, you need to, because the question of trust is really based on that timing issue. Obviously, I am very quite untypical Finn. I talk too much. Or much, and whereas the traditional Finnish way of communication is mostly based on the fact that you might
very few words. There are very few words.
You only say yes or no or something like that.
Yes.
But that's also something you need to understand. I know that it's not only Pakistanis or South Asian. That's also sometimes a problem that you have a business coming from
But I
US.
think for you it must have been very interesting, because for you who talk so much here in Pakistan, also people talk a lot and people like to talk to people who talk a lot. So I mean that interaction must have been very easy for you with the business community.
And that's why I have very good friends in Pakistan nowadays, because I talk a lot.
Well, speaking of your role as far as bridging Finland and Pakistan is concerned, you've been the chairman of the Finland-Pakistan Business Council as well as the Nordic Pakistan Business Summit. Tell us about both these organizations one by one. Firstly, the Finland-Pakistan Business Council.
The Finland-Pakistan Business Council was originally established back in 1985. That was the time there was a lot of activities between Pakistan and Finnish companies. Then over the years it was kind of left aside, and then 2014 we brought it back. It was like a rebirth of a phoenix bird.
Why the rebirth? Why that time
I think the main reason was that there was an unfortunate thing that Finland closed the embassy in Islamabad.
All right.
And that was a little bit linked to the fact that there was kind of empty space that who would be the one helping the Finnish companies to understand the Pakistani market if there's no one sort of working for the Finnish government.
All right.
So we made a decision, okay, maybe this, at least for years, some years, it has to be done with the private resources, and that's what we did. We gave a rebirth of the Phoenix Bird, and we organized the first Finland-Pakistan Business Summit in Islamabad 2014. And it's interesting that you mentioned these perceptions of Pakistan. For the first one, I really needed to beg the companies to come. I used all my favors, my bank of favors, that okay, you need to come and you see Pakistan with your own eyes. And we had, that year, we had 12, 13 companies, which is a lot for even the governmental running promotion activities. Then next year we did another one and we doubled that, and so on. That's how it goes. You have to start with sort of realities. You can't get 100 companies to come the first time. And since then we are operating daily level. We organizing this kind of events, not only in Pakistan, but we do events in Finland as well. We are right now we're hosting a lot of education activities, taking education companies and teachers to Pakistan and all that kind of stuff. It's not only hardcore business. It's also we also try to support the education side, the cultural
diversify
side,
the sectors.
Yes, not only just talking to business talks.
Tell us a little bit about the Nordic Pakistan Business Summit.
Nordic Pakistan Business Summit was like an extension of a Finland Pakistan Business Summit. So, so we did two Finland Pakistan Business Summits in Islamabad, and then we had a lot of questions from Swedish side and Norwegian side from the companies that could we also be part of that, and so we extended to the Nordic Pakistan level. And it has worked pretty well. Obviously, when you do pro bono based events, it's always a lot of hard work to get the companies to come, but it has worked pretty well, and we definitely keep doing that.
Which are the sectors that the Swedish or the Finn companies have shown interest in as far as Pakistan is concerned?
In Pakistan, traditionally, there has been a lot of activity in the energy sector, obviously, and different kind of machinery. That has been, for decades, that has been a key point. But now there's more and more on healthcare, clean tech, means water, all the water treatment systems and sustainable energy, all those things. It's like someone asked me yesterday that what would be the sectors that a Finnish company should be interested in Pakistan, and what would be the sector the Pakistani company should be interested in Finland. I said everything.
All right.
Because there's so much going on here, there's so much going on in Finland and Nordic and further in European Union markets. So basically I would say there's not a one business sector that would not find a market in the country.
Really, you talked about clean tech. That's a very important issue because climate change is very essential and an important change that is occurring the world over, and Pakistan is one of the major countries that is being affected by it. Now, when you talk of clean tech and clean water technologies, this is very important because there are a lot of sources of water that are depleting in Pakistan. So we need to have resources like, for example, from rivers, from seas, in such a manner that the normal person can drink those water, because there is that risk that in a couple of decades, if this whole situation continues, we might be in depletion of water. So in that case, do you feel that clean tech technology could be introduced in a stronger manner from the Finn side into Pakistan?
It should, and definitely it will. This is a sad thing. You think that you have a problem with water, you have lack of water, and this country is next to one of the biggest rivers in the world. So there's something fundamental wrong, and that change could be done with the clean tech and water treatment technology, where Finland is actually one of the leading countries in the world. And that's actually one of the things that I hope to see in the very near future, that technology and those companies would actually be having a presence in Pakistan and really start to help the
What about the energy sector? We are slowly and steadily getting self-sufficient in energy, but we had a huge issue around five years back. We had hours and hours of load shedding, which now, mashallah, we don't have even an hour of load shedding, at least in the urban areas. In some rural areas we might have, but mostly the load shedding has been eliminated from the country. Do you feel that Finn companies could further bring change in the energy sector in Pakistan?
I do. We have a lot of understanding. We have a lot of experience. Maybe we don't. We have some manufacture of, for example, solar panels and so on. But it's not actually about manufacturing. If you really think that you would take solar panels or wind turbines or everything like that, it's more about understanding how you do things and not do things overnight, because you can't build any solution
Nothing
overnight.
can happen overnight.
You have to have a plan, and I think the planning is something that Finns are very good. So what's happening tomorrow, what's happening next 5 years, what's happening next 10 years, you can't change everything overnight. So this is a very good point on one sector that Finland and Pakistan, Finnish and Pakistani companies should and would work together.
All right, Ville, I'll quote something that you said once. You said, I believe both sides, that is the Finn and the Pakistani side, have the same challenge. Nordic companies don't understand the dynamics and opportunities of the Pakistani market, and the Pakistani companies don't understand the purchasing power of the common Nordic market with only 26 people. Has that changed, the understanding of the dynamics of each other?
It is changing every day, as far as I know. But I said that a few years ago, and why I said that, it's very obvious that for most of the Pakistani companies, traditionally, Pakistani companies are focusing on market like UK, Germany, France, because that has been the market. And the Nordic market, all the 5 Nordic countries, so Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, or plus the 3 is a Nordic 8, so Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, so the Baltic countries. There's huge purchasing power in that area, but traditionally Pakistani companies are not looking at that market. It's a little bit like a gray area. So what I'm trying to make people to understand that if you had 26, 30 million people, and if the GDP per head is 40,000, 45,000 US dollar, it's easy math that there's a lot of money and there's a lot of buyers. Same thing from that region to Pakistan. I've been saying that even in Finland, even we have that great best education system in the world, and we should all be part of that and the result of that, we don't really know what's happening in this region. Even that we would know all the capitals of the world, you don't have any understanding of what is actually going on in Pakistan and what are the dynamics of the Pakistan or South Asian market. So the reason why these business summits have been there and why the Business Council is there and why I keep talking about this is that we need to raise that recognition on both sides. But when you know, then you start to go. If you don't know anything about some market, you are not going to be there, that's for sure.
You had said at one time that there were 2 bottlenecks as far as Pakistan was concerned, clean water and energy. These are 2 sectors that we've talked about. Are there other sectors that you feel could be improved with Finnish assistance?
Healthcare, education, as we discussed earlier.
Right.
Those are like very primary ones. Clean tech, as we just talked. Those are, I would say, the easiest and actually pretty easy. What I have been trying to do is I would really encourage Pakistani and Finnish companies to talk to each other, because that's the starting point. You need to understand.
Are they not talking to each other?
They're talking now at the summits. They're talking. There has been very good activities from chambers of commerce, and we have been taking big Pakistani delegations to Finland as well. These activities, those are very much required. Even that we were living in the digital world and you can Google things and so on, but you won't do business by Googling.
But for Finland, internet is nothing. For Finland, internet is something that is given by the government, and it's a right of every citizen.
Yeah, but still, even at Google, you won't get a business. That's for sure.
That's true. Let's come to you being nominated as the Honorary Consul of Pakistan in Finland. Now, we know you've done huge amounts of work to bring Nordic companies to Pakistan and make them understand what Pakistan's culture is all about, and make them see the potential that Pakistan has as far as trying to do business with it is concerned. When and how did that opportunity come across?
I think it was based mostly on things that I have been doing for Pakistan and promoting business and promoting activities and cooperation on the academic side as well. And I was very honored when the government asked that I would be available. The Hon.Consul General of Pakistan in Finland before me, he was in that position for 30 years. And when this question came, you have to say yes, because that was so a big honor. So 2 years ago, the President of Pakistan appointed me to that. So this is like, I'm a little bit doing my 2 years tour as Honorary Consul General of Pakistan in Pakistan actually now.
All right. It is an honor, but it's a huge responsibility at the same time. Do you feel constrained by that responsibility or happy having that responsibility
I'm
on
very
your back?
happy. I have been very happy and pleased to do very nice things linked to my consular position. So it is nice, and there's actually have been only one like a sad thing which I've been involved just a couple of weeks ago, but everything else has been super positive. So it's great. It's great.
Really, what was your aim when you? I mean, when the title was conferred to you? Of course, that was bridging the gap also between Finland and Pakistan and boosting cooperation between the two countries. What were the main things that were in your mind when you became the Honorary Consul General of Pakistan in Finland?
First of all, I think that, as I said, it was a so big honor, and then it also gives you a little bit boost. If I am just a businessman who is promoting Pakistan, or I am the chairman of Finland-Pakistan Business Council, it's still a little bit different. And then you are officially representing Pakistan in Finland. That makes it more powerful. People are listening to you more carefully, and you could actually say that people get more interesting about why a Finn is actually talking so much about and for Pakistan.
I mean, when Finns normally don't talk as much.
And then I talk about Pakistan.
Education, you talked about the education sector. You've also visited so many universities. The Finland-Pakistan Business Council has collaborated with the University of Management and Technology to improve education in Pakistan. What do you feel, in your point of view, are the lacunas that the Pakistan education system can improve upon?
I think first, if we talk about university level, as you mentioned, I think the first thing that we should all support, and this is also both university level, but also HEC level thing on a governmental level, is that we should support cooperation between Pakistani and Finnish universities, whether it's on research, whether it's exchanging students or whatever. I think that's the starting point.
All right.
What you can learn is probably something that will come through the fact that talented young people are actually talking to each other. I think that should be the first thing to do. There's a lot, I can't say a lot, but pretty many Pakistani students in Finland doing their masters and doing their PhDs.
But the languages, Finnish or Swedish, how do they learn?
They do that in English because you can,
right.
because you can do that in English as well.
All
And
right.
I know that there are also like post-PhD research in the top Finnish universities from Pakistan and so on. So the basis is already there. So we should know how to use that basis to support future cooperation between the Finnish and Pakistani universities.
As far as the teaching system is concerned, can you help bring good teachers or professors from Finland who could maybe train some of those in Pakistan?
That's actually a very good point. And outside the university level, just a week ago, one of the top 10 teachers of the world was visiting Pakistan.
Oh, all right.
So she is a best math teacher in the world. So she was here just for a week ago. And so this kind of thing should be done. And we actually, Finland-Pakistan Business Council is going to launch still this spring, probably in April, a little bit tour and program that we keep bringing these Finnish teachers and university people to Pakistan.
WILLE, also your media is very strong. How about some sort of cooperation between the Finn media and Pakistani media? Bring some Finn experts from there who could talk about the free media, how it works in Finland and how responsibility and freedom go hand in hand. For Pakistan, for the private media, it could be one of the lessons to be learned as well.
We have, as you said, we have a strong media, and now sitting here in the PTV studios, we have our PTV in Finland is called WILLE.
All right.
And it's super strong and big player, and maybe that's something that you and your colleagues would start to push then and support that you will talk.
But
with
you, as our Honorary Consul General, could also do that.
I will help you definitely.
The youth in Pakistan were a majority. how can people-to-people contact between the youth of Finland and Pakistan take place in your point of view?
I think it's also something that we should and could do in terms of education and cooperation with schools and all this kind of. We know we are not young anymore, but we know that youth, they know how to use the social media channels and all this kind of stuff. So there always has to be a reason or issue how youth in Pakistan and Finland would find each other. I think the rest of the story they can handle.
How about also bringing joint sporting events, because Finland is one of the rare countries that has had the highest number of gold medals per capita if we can count the number of people and the amount of medals that your country has had in the different Olympics as well. Why not bring some of the sporting events to Pakistan, or take some of Pakistan's sportsmen to Finland and kind of do some kind of joint sporting events together?
You have very good ideas today. I can steal that and support it. It's actually it is good. So Finland is a very sport crazy nation, and as Pakistan is as well. I think that would be very interesting. So I'll keep that in mind, and I'll find out what I can do.
Any other sector that we haven't talked about that you'd like to work upon in the coming days?
I think that those people, this is how business works, and this is how promotion in country also works. You have to concentrate a couple of things, and then you make those happen, and then you kind of turn into a next chapter. The topics we discuss, I think those are the ones that we need to start with, and now you gave me a couple of new ones, so I think my work day is full already.
EEROLA, thank you so very much to have joined us. I think our conversation could have gone on for another couple of minutes, but we're short of time. I'll end, ladies and gentlemen, with a little quote by our guest. He said once that we believe that the wide form of cooperation between Finland and Pakistan will cultivate plenty of opportunities for the youth of Pakistan, and we are excited to be a catalyst for such a unique cooperation. A unique cooperation it is between a Nordic country and Pakistan. Two different cultures in many ways, but so many similarities and so many avenues that both countries could work together. And I hope with the cooperation of our Honorary Consul General in Finland, Mr. WILLE EEROLA, we'll have more and more cooperation between both countries in the days, months and years to come. Omer Khalid bids you farewell from this episode of Diplomatic Enclave. We'll be back inshallah next week, same time, same channel. Take care of yourselves, and Allah Hafiz. And thank you, WILLE EEROLA.
Thank you very much.